I think this is my favorite series. The Nuggets, 3rd seed versus the Portland Trail Blazers. They are the 6th seed. The Nuggets are 2-1 against the Blazers in the regular season. This is a rematch of the 2019 Western Conference semis where Portland won in 7 games. CJ McCollum had a dominant performance, and he was just knocking down shots left and right on Torrey Craig late in that game. And Portland Trailblazers will upset Denver Nuggets.
Oh, I thought I was the only one that's going to say that.
The Trailblazers will beat the Denver Nuggets. And if you look at the stats, the regular season stats, Portland is the 29th ranked. They have the 29th defensive rating in the NBA. But in the last 28 games, they have had a top 15 defense and one of the best ranked offenses in the NBA. You look at the backcourt, Dame and CJ versus who? Monte Morris and Will Barton?
No. Or Facundo Campazzo.
But if Morris, I don't know if Morris is going to be healthy or not. Yeah. But if he's not healthy and it's Campazzo and Barton, I mean, talk about a mismatch.
Oh, Barton isn't healthy either.
Talk about a mismatch when you talk about the backcourt.
Will pick up one of them?
Good luck.
Try. He'll try. I mean, but like, what other option are they going to have?
PJ Dozier, Austin Rivers.
That plays good defense.
Yeah. Maybe Aaron Gordon can switch on to them and play.
Have to.
That would be something.
It'll depend, but for me, I think just when you talk about the backcourt, I mean, it favors Portland so much.
Yep.
Then you talk about the front court. Obviously, Jokic is the best player. He's the best player in the series, I think. But also, you got Yusuf Nurkic back. And Yusuf Nurkic always had a chip on his shoulder when he faces Jokic because Denver kept Jokic instead of Nurkic. Nurkic was traded to Portland because they wanted to, really give Jokic the keys. So he has a chip on his shoulder. He's been playing better, and it's cancer off the bench. But I also think Michael Porter Jr., he is the second best player on Denver. But Portland has Robert Covington and Derrick Jones Jr., who both can guard Michael Porter Jr. and take turns and minimize his impact somewhat. We'll see how he performs. But outside of Jokic and Porter Jr., I mean, who else are you relying on Denver? Aaron Gordon is not going to give you more than 15 points per game. I mean, he's been averaging 10 points per game on Denver this season. Paul Millsap is old. He's not the same player he once was. And I just think the Blazers just have way too much guys. I mean, Dame, CJ, Norman Powell, Covington, Nurkic. You have Melo.
That's true.
Also, they have 6 players averaging double figures on the year. I think it's going to be a close series, though. I have the Blazers in 7. I think it's a 7-game series because Jokic is going to be that great. And Porter Jr., I think, is going to have some breakout performances. But I think the Blazers will beat the Denver Nuggets.
We're about to see the MVP lose in the first round. It sucks. It really does suck. But you look at Portland. And you see, listen, this is a first-round matchup, and I think walking in, Dame's going to be the best player on the court. I think first-round series, he lives for this moment, coming off last year where he did his thing. They did lose, but he did his thing for the most part. And we've seen over the past 2-3 years, Dame completely dominate in the first round, whether it be a buzzer beater or outperforming another point guard. He's done his thing, and with no Jamal Murray to counter him, I think he's going to just live for that matchup with Monte Morris and Facundo Campazzo. CJ McCollum, I think he's going to have a field day. Norman Powell, he can get it going. He can get hot. Melo, he can get it going. He can get hot. This is a team that has a lot of scoring, and I just don't think Denver is healthy enough, to really keep up. I think Joker's going to keep him in the series, and it sucks that Denver isn't healthy. But what we're looking at right now, I think this is Portland's perfect opportunity to definitely steal this series. I think they're the underseed, but I think right now they're the better team with all the injuries to Denver. So I would take Portland in 6. I can see 5 games. I think the Joker is going to be dominant, but Nurkic is no scrub, Like he can put up a calm 15 and 10, 16 and 10. He can do that. And I think with that counter with Dame and CJ in the backcourt, Robert Covington, Melo, Anthony Simmons, Norman Powell, I think this team has so much offense. I just don't think Denver is healthy enough to combat with Portland's offense. So I got Portland in 6.
So I have a question for both of you. If Jamal Murray was healthy, would it completely change your output on the series?
Denver wins.
Easily?
Not easily.
Okay.
I would say Denver in 7.
Okay. Listen, since Jamal's gone out, Denver's been playing, I wouldn't say significantly better. They've been playing better. I mean, they went from the 5th seed to the 3 seed. Granted, Lakers had a bunch of injuries.
Clippers decided to tank.
That was we were going to talk. Well, we already spoke about it, but that was sad.
How do you tank and you're in the playoffs?
Because they're scared.
Tanking means to tank for a lot. Nobody's scared of you guys. You just barely beat the Warriors.
Then why did the Nuggets lose on purpose?
It's called.
And why did the Blazers?
Why would you go play 7 games in the first? Like, why would you put in all your chips to play you guys in the first round and put all that energy in, and then have to now dog out second when we could just wait? Play 75-80%, beat these teams, and then be reloaded to play you guys. Okay. When it matters the most.
Yeah, you just explained exactly what it means to be scared of someone in a nice way.
It's called being smarter.
Okay, so scared.
You should be lucky because AD looks terrible. That's what you should be lucky at.
You know what's funny, too? He looked terrible last night and still dropped 25.
Oh, my God.
And we still won.
25 points. It's incredible.
Yeah, that is pretty incredible, especially when he's got to play defense.
On who? With Draymond?
Draymond, that's a good point.
Yeah, come on.
You got a good point. But we're talking against the Suns. He's going to have to play against Ayton. We're about to see if what's Ayton made of.
We'll get to that.
That's a fact. Either way, I got the Nuggets winning. Actually, you guys gave me some good points, and a lot of it makes sense. But the fact that the Nuggets have been playing so well, even after you lose one of your key pieces on offense, your second best player in Jamal Murray, I just feel like they're just going to keep it going into the playoffs. I know that Dame has had unbelievable moments in the past. Damian Lillard easily could be the best player in this series. I just feel like Joker has had such a great handle of the game. Every game that he plays, his player efficiency ratings #1 in the NBA for a reason. He just knows how to make the smart play, both defensively and offensively. Obviously, he could be a little bit better defensively, but even still, he's very smart on both aspects of the court. I just feel like he's going to be the key for Denver to obviously win. I feel like Aaron Gordon's going to have a big part in this series too. You were saying how you really can't rely on him offensively. But, when you have a guy like Michael Porter Jr. who has exploded since Jamal Murray going down, you need Michael Porter Jr. to be that guy where he drops, like we had on the last show. You were talking like you can see him dropping 25 points in a series. He could do that this series. Who's going to guard Michael Porter Jr. this series? I don't know anyone. I mean, you have someone like Jokic who easily could average 30 points this series. You were saying how Nurkic is going to play with a chip on his shoulder. Jokic knows that too. Jokic isn't stupid. He played against AD last season in the bubble. He knew what he had to do against Anthony Davis. I mean, we smoked them, unfortunately, but he still played very well in that series. So I feel like against the Blazers, I feel like Joker is going to give them the upper hand here. So that's why I lean Nuggets. But you guys made some really good points. You have Dame, you have CJ, who obviously when it comes to backcourt, it's night and day when you compare him to the Nuggets, especially right now without Jamal Murray. But I feel like the Nuggets have just been playing such good basketball that they're going to keep that going.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from. But Michael Porter Jr. against Robert Covington, he will dominate that matchup because Covington is a really good off-ball defender and help defender, but his on-ball defense is not good. It's not good. But Derrick Jones Jr. on-ball defense is very good. So if he's matched up against Michael Porter Jr., I think that's going to be the primary matchup. They're going to put Derrick Jones Jr. on Michael Porter Jr., and I think he can really neutralize him. Can I see MPJ really ascending and showing flashes of being a superstar in this series? I definitely can. But I think when you look at Joker and MPJ, Dame and CJ will cancel out them. Just them two.
Okay.
Then we look at the rest of the guys, Barton, Covington, Nurkic, Derrick Jones Jr., Enes Kanter, Norman Powell. Who else is going to step up on Denver that you trust? I like Will Barton, but he is hurt right now. I like Monte Morris. We're not sure what his status is. I'm guessing he's going to play, though. But those aren't guys that are going to match up with the Blazers' depth. I just don't think it.
I don't even think we could fully 100% trust MPJ to put next to CJ McCollum. We've seen CJ McCollum in big moments, in big time games. He's dominated in the playoffs. MPJ, we're still in the air. Last year he played well, but he was kind of like a third, fourth option. This year stepping into that second star role in the playoffs, having to match CJ's energy. I don't know if we're 100% can say that's going to work. I also think he has the matchup advantage being 6'10", Robert Covington being 6'7". He can shoot over the top. He doesn't need to dribble the ball to get his shot up. He can come off screens, he can go to the basket. So I think he has the advantage, but it's not a full-blown full
conclusion.
Yeah,
Got
thank
you,
you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Got you,
That's going to absolutely happen. You know, we still have to wait and see. I think Norman Powell, we seen him do it last year in the bubble, so we can expect that he's going to come in. He's going to put up his 14, 15, maybe 16 points. You know, he's going to have a good series. Damian CJ, we know going to be there. Joker, we know going to be there. Monte Morris, you know, this is a new role. We don't know what we really don't know what we're going to see. You know, we've seen him in his role be comfortable as one of the best backup point guards in the league, but now stepping in, I would start him if he's healthy. You know, what are we going to see as a starting point guard against matchup with Dame? Will Barton, we know how he gets. He's streaky. Sometimes he can just get it going. But it's going to be tough for this team. You know, this team is going to have to build up a lot of heart, a lot of perseverance to get this one out and gut this one out, because this is a tough team. This is not a regular 6-seeded team. You know, this is a really strong Portland offense that can really get it going, and they have a superstar in Dame. So it's going to be tough to see. But I just – it's hard to trust Denver with all the injuries and the banged up. Like, I trust Mike Malone. I trust the Joker. But the other guys stepping into that new role, I don't know how we're going to see. So I got to rock with Portland and their experience.
All right.